Ruslan.
In light of more rappers coming down with RICO charges, crime, all kinds of wildness, potentially facing jail time, Casanova, just a couple, maybe a week or so ago, was on the run for being charged with a conspiracy charge because he was affiliated with a bunch of dudes that were a gang, more or less, and just wildness when you read what these people were affiliated with. They were running the small business loan scams. They were running all kinds of illegal schemes. And Casanova apparently got hit with an illegal firearm as well as being a part of this organization, which is a conspiracy charge. When there's a RICO charge, it's very difficult to beat that. This is why 6ix9ine ended up cooperating. And so Casanova is ultimately probably going to do some serious jail time. He went on the run, came back, turned himself into the FBI, and it just looks wild. But in the reporting of this, a lot of folks were mad at folks like Vlad TV, who I've had my issues with Vlad TV. I've talked about it on the channel before. I think the dude's a complete bozo. But the big idea was, listen, a lot of these rappers are going on and they're more or less self-snitching on themselves, and the FBI is watching. Like, they're watching everything. They're watching all the interviews. They're on Facebook. They're on Instagram. And a lot of these rappers don't got the money you think they have. They don't. They're actually struggling, right? And so Casanova signed to Rock Nation, hanging out with Jay-Z, the glitz, the glam, and he's still involved in criminal activity. That's crazy to think about. You know, but he's not making that much money. And most of these guys who are making money are making it through club appearances. Well, there's not any club appearances going on, right? There's not any club appearances going on, meaning that they're not able to go get the same kind of money that they can get. And so it's just a really, really bizarre time where you got big rappers signed to the biggest companies in the world who are going down for RICO charges, right? Which is what is the case in Casanova. It's super sad, man. And so it looks like he's gonna go down for a while. And then there's a whole question like, is he gonna cooperate? Super complicated. So I wanted to highlight this because I think this is really interesting. This is from the Brilliant Idiots podcast. Shout out to Andrew Scholes and Charlamagne the God. Pretty cool podcast. I don't watch a lot of their stuff, but I think the point they make here is super spot on. And by the way, y'all know how I feel about Vlad TV. Like I talked about it before. I don't even know why folks still go on there. I don't know why folks go on there and talk about open cases, or not open cases, but specifically stuff that they can still get charged for. There's just a lot of really goofy, silly stuff going on right now, and we're gonna see more of this, unfortunately. And again, this is what we talk about. Wisdom will be proven right by her children, right? When Jesus made it clear, right? Wisdom will be proven right by her children. We will know them by their fruit, and the fruit of a godly life is in our best interest. Let's check this out. Let's check this clip out. So this is Andrew Scholes. I think this is around here.
Ski with a helmet on.
I'm about to justify it. I'm about to justify it. So like, what is cool is all the things that actually don't give you a career, don't allow you to make money, and don't give you longevity.
Yeah. What
I think Jay is, and I bet you all those other people we mentioned as well that you just mentioned have a little bit that's in them. They're guys who are actually kind of silly, goofy, nerdy. I bet they're nerdy. They learned how to be cool to operate within a space, but it's their intelligence and their kind of nerdiness that allowed them to have this long career. There are very
I don't even think it's, and I get what you're saying.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I just don't think it's nerdiness though.
You know, maybe we're using different words. I guess what I'm trying to say is
only reason I don't like to say that because I don't want to label things because people shy away from what they consider nerdiness.
That's fair, but like,
you know what I mean?
You consider yourself a nerd for Marvel, right?
Yeah.
I'll consider myself a nerd for comedy. You know what I mean? Like maybe the nerd word is such a bad connotation, but
bro, we're regular.
Yeah, but it's almost like we're regular, but we're also able to look and see what is cool. And I guess what I'm trying to say, especially to like kids who like look up to these like, like, oh, I don't give a fuck personalities, that kind of stuff. It's like, you don't want to aspire to be that because those people don't last ever. The people who last and they have the careers are the people that are smart enough to see what works, lock into it,
come on,
and also utilize that intellect to not get caught up in the clout chase that's gonna end you fucking dead or canceled.
Yeah, you know what?
That's good. That's good, yo. Andrew Scholes is dropping gems, and he opens with the notion that the very stuff we thought was cool, the I don't give a F bravado, I'm a tough guy, I'm a criminal, right? The whole bit. That's the very things that end you on the road to destruction, right? And by the way, I don't think Andrew Scholes is a believer. I don't know if he's Jewish. I'm not sure what he is, right? But that is one of the wisest things that I've ever heard somebody say, that things that we think is cool when we're young are the very things that are the complete antithesis to being successful in any industry, let alone entertainment, to having a healthy life, right? This is true universally, by the way. The stuff you think is uncool, like being married, is actually the coolest thing ever, right? And is actually one of the most beneficial institutions for anyone that wants to be a great father, that wants to make more money, that wants to be more stable. Marriage is one of them, right? Not being violent is another one of them, right? Somebody that can't control their emotions, they can't control their anger, right? That's one of them. Self-control, discipline, right? Being restrained. How about the thing that we think, oh, I'm just flipping. I just say what I want. I'm honest. I say what I want. Nah, restraint with your tongue is actually a better attribute. Restraint with your tongue and with your mouth is a much better attribute than being flippant and gossiping and talking nasty about people and always being quick to be confrontational, right? These have real consequences to them, right? And here's the deal. These decisions don't get made in a vacuum, meaning that we think that we can trick off our 20s and be fine. The most important years of your life, by the way, are 18 to 22. That's who you become, and that's what's set up for the next season of your life. And we think that we could trick off 18 to 22, 18 to 25. Now adolescence is pushed out until you're 30. Now it's way more normalized for, kids to live with their parents until they're 30, right? We trick off these years, we go party, we go get drunk, we do all this debauchery, and then we think we're just gonna wake up and be a adjusted, normal human individual by the time we're 30, and now we're gonna just start a family. No. All those habits are gonna follow you. All those bad decisions are gonna follow you. All those poor things are gonna follow you. And some of you guys know this firsthand, right? Some of you guys know this very, 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 very firsthand because you've made some poor decisions. You tricked off your 20s. And what's your responsibility? Hey, tell the generation that's coming after you not to repeat those same mistakes. Tell it. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of what I talk about on this channel is like, I don't want you guys to make the same mistakes I made with money. I don't want you guys to make the same mistakes with not me, the way I didn't deal with my issues, the way I prolonged going to therapy and prolonged all these things. Figure this stuff out early, because if you are living a sloppy life, whether that's partying, whether that's being, sexually immoral, hooking up, whether that's not taking care of your body, like what happens is that stuff compounds. And by compounds, I mean it's a snowball effect. That means it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. No one ever wakes up and says, I think I'm gonna get addicted to drugs today. No one ever wakes up and says, I think I'm gonna be a womanizer today. And that's the trajectory I want my life to be. No one ever wakes up and goes, I think I wanna just become obese. Yeah, I'm gonna be morbidly obese because it's the little things, right? Song of Solomon talks about the little foxes that eat up the garden, right? And it uses a metaphor, it's in the context of marriage, but it talks about the little foxes that'll eat up your garden, and you don't even know what's happening, you don't even know what's coming, but over time, those little foxes, they compound, and they compound, and they compound, and then you wake up and you're like, fam, how did I get here? How did I get here, right? So the moral of the story is, first of all, let's not look at rappers and entertainers as the moral high ground or the standard of who we should aspire to be, even with regards to success, right? Even with regards to success, because Proverbs, there's a verse in Proverbs that says, hey, an inheritance obtained too early in life is not a blessing in the end. If you get the majority of your life's income in your 20s, that's not going to be a blessing to you in your 30s because you don't know how to handle money in your 20s. You have no experience yet, right? Most people don't make the peak. Their income doesn't peak until their 40s and their 50s. If you made all the peak of your money because you're a rapper or you're an athlete in your 20s, that we shouldn't even envy that. Like the scriptures are clear, don't envy sinners, but from a logical standpoint, right? From a logical standpoint, that's just not good, right? Like you don't want to be rich at 25. You want to know how to handle money and then get rich, right? And granted, maybe some of us are raised in homes where our parents drilled in financial literacy. We know how to handle money, and it's like we're set up to handle money. But if you don't know how to handle money, if you don't know how money works, you don't want to get rich at an early age, right? If you don't know how food works, if you don't know how what sugar does to your body, if you don't know what too many carbohydrates in your body, you don't want to have infinite access to food, right? The access to excess. I talk about it all the time. Access to excess, right? We're one of the few countries where historically people have died of starvation. In our context, people die of obesity. People die of too much food. We eat ourselves to death, right? And this is real, like rich people, poor people, whoever. So we got to really take a serious inventory of our heart and say, listen, can you start to make decisions today, right? Forget New Year's resolutions today. What is it? It's December 14th. Can you start making the little incremental changes today so that your next 5 years are better, so that your next decade is better? See, that's the thing about successful people is they think in decades. They don't think in months and weeks and years. They're thinking decades ahead, right? Can you make the little decisions today so that you're never in one of these situations where you got to do some illegal activity, you got to make some bad choices, or you wake up and you're in debt, or you wake up and you're very overweight. Now you got to dig yourself out of a hole just to get to like neutral and then build your life on top of that, right? You want to start your life and then build up. And I understand there's people here, all different types of walk. I got a wild past, because you guys know about my Exposed series. Make good decisions, guys. Don't envy sinners. Don't be jealous of these rappers. They're not happy, okay? And a lot of what you think they have, they don't really have, right? They're broke. That's why some of them are still in the streets and doing goofy stuff. And they're signed to Jay-Z. Like, gosh, this Casanova situation is super sad. You know what I'm saying? The fact that Lil Wayne caught a gun charge is super sad, man. And so I'm really believing and praying that there's a revival through media. That's why I'm on here, right? That's why I'm on here. Like, I'm not gonna go into politics. I don't care, right? I'm on here because I feel like this is the best way for me right now to how I could influence people, right? The best way I could influence people with my personal junk and you guys avoiding some of my mistakes, and also the trajectory where my life is going and where I hope to take more people. So let me know what y'all think about that. I know that's some heavy stuff, man, but I appreciate you guys, man.
King's Dream Entertainment. Ruslan.
I saw my mama smile through the silhouette. Sunshine and all, sunshine and all. But she don't know that I still feel like we ain't made it yet. No, I ain't lying at all. I ain't lying at all. I remember walking back from grocery stores and she would carry me sore. Muscles didn't mean a thing, we just had to see this thing through. And now she got bad hips and needs to replaced. I wonder if I walk, could this pain have been erased? Was that a cause of her failing health? She fell down, it's only right I help. Uplift despite the complicated things I felt. From cash aid to building generational wealth. Look, from her just hoping she can land a job to owning businesses, not feeling yeah, I need some real estate next. I've been the realest, not best. Is there a difference? I guess, nah. Yeah, they told me God bless. I told them I wanna bless God. Yes, I told them I wanna bless God.